Well, hello there, my fellow dungeon crawlers. My name is Ic0n, and this is gonna be my third playlist of Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We've been successful with the last game with the Gargoyle Monk. We successfully completed the game, and I'm gonna continue my little tutorial sessions here with some more easy to play race and class combinations until I delve into something more challenging here. I'm always open for some wishes or ideas, what you want to see in action, what you want to see commented, or something like that. I'm really eager to try out some special wishes from you guys. But for this run, we're gonna go for something straightforward, which will work out pretty fine. So we're gonna go for a Centaur Hunter, which is some really reliable thing to play. And with the starting choice, I'm going to go for a short bow and arrows, because the Centaur is very apt at using bows. Here at the +3 aptitude on the Centaur for bows, which is really good. So I'm going to turn off the automatic training and start training manually. We're starting off with the usual 4 skills. That's going to be fighting, bows, armor, and dodging. And we're equipped for the starts with a short bow and a short sword. And we have some particular interesting feats as a Centaur. We have hooves for feet, which means we can't wear boots. We have a strangely shaped body, which means we're going to lose some basic armor class points from every armor we're wearing. And we cover ground very quickly because we have 4 legs. We're a horse. We're very good at running fast. And we get some AC bonus from the scratch, which is also very good. So, which doesn't show up here is that the Centaurs are also having a good base HP, and we only need 0.7 turns to move a square, which is really good. Normally you move at 1 square per turn, and yeah, that's really sweet. So that's why Centaur archers are very good to play. So we're gonna start out carefully here and start roaming into the dungeon. Okay. So for this run, I will worship Okawaru, because I think it's a real good god choice for a ranged character, because Okawaru will constantly give you more ammunition, so you'll never run out of ammunition, and also he will give you some nice weaponry options along the way, and armor, and yeah, I think Okawaru is very good to go. So there's a first enemy, it's a rat, something I don't want to waste my ammunition into, because on the first few levels ammo for bows is really not, well, you don't find enough of it to kill everything with a short bow at this point of the game. So we're gonna switch over to the short sword every time the fight looks pretty easy to win, which is the case for these guys. And we're gonna proceed kiting these people around the corner. This ooze I'm gonna shoot. Deals a lot of damage, potentially. And so we're gonna clear our way through dungeon 1. There's a cockroach and a gecko. That's the thing I want to take a shot up front. But I'm not gonna finish it off with a bow here. So let's roam a bit and hopefully find some good stuff along the way. For dungeon 1, I'm always a bit careful, because on dungeon 1 very weird things can happen. If you happen to run into a kobold wearing a hard brand weapon, well, this is not going well for us. We're potentially dead here. So we've got around this corner. broke the line of sight, and we're safe. Okay, I really was afraid my first win streak here was potentially over. So we're a lot quicker than this guy. So he keeps throwing his rocks at us. So we're gonna shoot him. And keep kiting because we're a lot quicker here. Okay. That's the stuff that can happen in Dungeon 1. Oh, that was an embarrassing start. Very embarrassing start. Somehow I feel like I deserve to die. But well, didn't happen. We got lucky this time, so let's be more careful along the way. Ooh, scary first moments here. So it doesn't need a kobold with a branded weapon to put us into grave danger. 2 hobgoblins are enough. So I'm gonna step into this teleportation trap and explore the rest of this floor. Didn't bring up anything interesting though. So we're at Dungeon 2 now, and this is where I'm really stepping forward really carefully, because this is the point of the game where the first unique enemies can show up, and right now I'm really weak. I'm only at XL2, not having any good equipment on me, and I'm gonna retreat to the staircase and try out some scrolls and see what will happen here. Fear scroll, ID scroll, magic mapping scroll, recharging scroll, and teleportation scroll. Off to the staircase we go. So I think I'm going to try out another staircase here. Let's see if it will lead us to something useful. There's a lizard. I'm going to take it upstairs and slaughter it. And going to try out the next staircase. We were standing right next to Worm here. And this fella is wielding a dagger of venom. And I think I'm gonna pick up this dagger of venom for now, because it's a lot better than the short sword at this point of the game, that is. Because the venom brand is awfully strong here at this point. So we got a first level up, and I'm gonna put up some points into strength, because I want to be able to wear heavier armor in the course of the game. So first few points will go into strength, and after that, let's see. So there goes an adder, which is exactly at the same speed as I am. So we're gonna poison it with a dagger and then kite it out to avoid more poisoning. Okay, worked out pretty decently. I'm really careful about the adders because I'm lacking curing potions here, which means I wouldn't be able to get rid of lethal poison amounts, and that would be certain death at this point of the game. We have only one potion we could try and hope for something beneficial there. It might be as well degeneration or mutation or anything else useless. So there's a first chainmail. I'm gonna pick this up, but right now I'm at the correct amount of strength, so let's put this up. We're losing a lot of EV here, but we're equally bad at evasion as we are bad at armor skilling, so I think it's okay for now, that is. I rather prefer some armor class over dodging, which doesn't reduce damage guaranteedly, because the chainmail will also provide me with some base damage reduction every time I get hit. So that's a potion of flight. That's not really something that would save me from lethal amounts of poison. Sadly, no curing. Okay, so there's the next adder. I'm a bit faster than the adder, yet still, for now, I want to avoid these adder fights if I can. So there's another kobold, which we could easily down with the dagger of venom. There goes another potion. Okay, some Whoa, it's a lot of adders down here. So let's check how this will go. I'm a bit quicker than they are, so I can retreat if stuff goes awfully bad, but nothing went bad here. We didn't even get hit by these. I think the chainmail provides a sufficient amount of protection here. Okay, so there are a few guys. I'm using my bow a bit, but actually I think most of these I can safely take down with the dagger. Scroll of Fear, that's good. I love to have Scroll of Fear. Back in this situation with the hobgoblins where I nearly died, a Scroll of Fear would have worked too. So there's a Potion of Agility. It's okay, I think. And off we go. So there's a bat. Got slaughtered by our poison dagger. Got our arrows back. And yet still we didn't find a single stack of arrows. That's why I'm using mine that sparingly. So let's see what this scroll provides. It's a scroll of ancient armor. That's really nice. So let's ID a new potion. That's a potion of magic. That's a bit useless for us, but it's okay. So there's the next worm. We softened it up with a few shots from our bow. Some goblins, but I'm not too afraid of these while I'm wearing a chainmail. It's not dangerous anymore. Not if they're not wielding something particularly dangerous branded weapon. So there goes the first orc pack, and I'm gonna retreat out of this situation and try another staircase, because I don't really feel too eager to take this whole orc pack up front without any heal potions at my disposal. So there's a potion of Berserk Rage, something I really like to have in my pack. A few hobgoblin and a kobold, nothing I want to waste my arrows on. And there goes Egypt, that's something I want to waste my arrows on. And that's a dead Egypt, that's nice. So it had a potion of one polymorph. So there's another orc. Let's stand behind that corner because I'm still a bit afraid this might be an orc from the former pack with the priest. Nevertheless, this priest is gonna be somewhere around here. So there are two more orcs. Let's step around the corner, get rid of the first one, get rid of the second one, and now there should be only the priest left. There he is. Step around the corner again to avoid his smitings, and there we go. We can kill a lot with this dagger of venom, even though its base damage is pretty low. The venom branding sure does a lot of damage on enemies which aren't immune to poison. So we got our first scroll of blinking, that's also very nice. Let's ID those potions. It's a potion of lignification stack. Interesting to have 3 of these that early on, because I can rack up a lot of armor class if I need it, and get poison immune with it. That's not too bad. So there's an Altar of the Shining One, which could be also a very interesting option for me. And there's a first Centaur, which means we're gonna get back some ammo. Oh, he did hurt a lot though. So there's another adder. Let's use our bow a bit more. And we got another level, and I'm gonna stick to strength for now because again, I want to be able to put up some heavier armor later on. And we are finding some teleportation scrolls, that's really good. That's some escape options if we need to escape. Another adder. Okay, this dagger does a lot of pressure here, so it's +1 gloves, that's really okay. I'll put them on even if I had no remove curse scroll on me, because the worst thing that could happen would be a -2 pair of gloves, which wouldn't have been the end of the world for me. Okay, another adder, but we shot it down pretty quickly. So let's check. We need a skill level of 14 on bows to get to Mindilay. So I'm gonna focus bows for now, because I really want to get at the Mindilay as quick as possible. There's a book of cantrips. That's a nice thing to find that early on. So we're gonna learn the apportation and the animate skeleton. Apart from that, we're gonna drop this book, because we got all the skills we wanted from this. So that's dungeon 3 done. And we hear the sound of rushing water, which means we're having a sewer grading on this level. And I really love to see this, because the sewers is a good place to rack up some basic resources. So this part is wielding an axe of chopping. I'm gonna pick this up because it's a good alternative for poison immune enemies, which deals some more damage than the venom dagger. So let's step around these corners. There comes the priest. Well, we got him down pretty quickly. Again, this dagger does a tremendous amount of damage to poison vulnerable enemies. So we got our first remove curse scroll. So now we know how they look like. An orc wizard. Let's shoot him first, or at least try to, and then go into melee, venom it down. No problem at all. So there's a adder skeleton. That's why I wanted this hand axe of chopping as an alternative, because with a venom weapon these skeletons aren't easy to kill, especially if your weapon is a dagger, which has a real lousy base damage. Okay, so the drain rusting is very distant. At this point it was only distant, so I think that's way to go. There's a first ant. Let's soften it up a bit. Okay, so it's only distant here, so we're somehow getting closer. There we are. Very good. Alright, so let's check it out. This is gonna be a room filled with kobolds, I think. So I'm gonna leave this room for now and clear out the outer proximity of these doors. There's an ooze. Alright, so it's this layout. It's a layout with 4 rooms filled with kobolds and such, while the outer perimeter here is only populated by some weaker enemies, which is pretty okay for me. The only dangerous part's gonna be these rooms here. So let's step around the corner and shoot back. I want to take down this blowgun dude. Okay. There we go. We got poisoned pretty badly here due to the blowgun shooting, but we survived. Everything's okay. So we're down to 24 arrows here. Let's step around the corner, shoot some. Okay, so that room's done as well. I think the room with the big kobold was already the most dangerous one. So we're pretty good to go here for the rest of the level, I think. There's some more potions. And chances are one of these potions I'm carrying around will be a curing potion and a heal wound potion and stuff like that. So again, this is a big bunch of kobolds with another big kobold hanging around. So I'm gonna kill the small ones first. Alright, there we go. That's another scroll of remove curse and 7 of these potions, which could be curing, but they could be also degeneration or something wonky like that, so I'm not gonna try it. So there's an ID scroll lying around. So we're gonna try this on these 7 potions, which are potions of curing, so the poison pressure went lower here, because now we can safely cure off the poisoning, and also got some resources to heal back up if we need to. That's kind of a relief here, because at this point of the game a normal potion of curing still heals enough to be interesting in a clutch situation. So that's 3 potions of might, very, very, very useful. I really like to have potions of might around. So there's a first phantom, and around the phantom we have a lot of ID scrolls. So again, I'm going to switch over to my hand axe of chopping here, because the dagger of poison won't do any good here. And an ogre joined the fight, so I'm gonna kite out and take care of this ogre first before we go for this phantom again. There goes another ogre. This time it's a 2-headed one. That's the point where the Centaur really shines, because we're just a lot quicker than this guy. So we can safely get in a few shots and then just retreat. So there's a hound which joined this fight. I'm gonna pick up some arrows in between. So there we go. Keep shooting this ogre. Pick up some arrows. Normally this fight would be not doable, I think. So I'm gonna poison him some carefully. Down to my last arrow, but the ogre finally went down due to the poisoning, and we're gonna walk around here, pick up our arrows, ignore the phantom for now, because I feel like I want to be at full HP before I go into this phantom fight. Okay, so that was a bit spooky. 2-headed ogre on D4 is something you normally would skip out on. So that's heal wounds. So right now we got heal wounds, we got curing, we got might. So this means we basically got every important instrument of survival at our hands here, which is really good. The only thing I'm lacking here is a bit of advanced weaponry at some point, but it's okay. I have 2 pretty decent branded weapons, which is pretty good considering that I'm only sitting at dungeon 4 here. And yeah, so let's shout and bring the phantom close. There we go, that phantom. And right now I'm not skilling any particular weaponry, because I feel like it's not worth leveling a dagger or a hand axe. I wanna wait until some real good branded item shows up, because right now the options I have are not too interesting in my opinion to invest skill points on. So there's a pair of gloves. Unluckily we already got gloves. So that's a bunch of arrows, that's good. A trident, which would be a good pickup if I didn't happen to find 2 branded small weapons. So there's a killer bee zombie, that's potentially spooky, but we got it down pretty quickly. So our hit rating is okay. And there we got shafted for 2 floors. That's pretty unlucky, but we had a staircase right beside us, and we have a sky beast on our heels, so there's switching over to invisibility again and again. So there we go, got it poisoned, should die at some point. Okay, so I think we got it down. Right, we are. So we're picking up more and more arrows at this point, which is good because I really need some arrows. And 54 is a nice stack to begin with. So this guy is wielding a falchion of slicing. This could be an interesting option. I think it's definitely some better option than the hand axe of chopping here. So let's check if we can go up front. Yes, we can. Okay. So the priests are getting less dangerous as our HP pools keeps growing. So let's try out this falchion. It's +1. So the hand axe is a base damage of 7. The falchion is a base damage of 7. Attack delay 1.3. 1.3. So we're not gonna keep this falchion because it's not really better. It's exactly as bad as the hand axe and is only +1. So I'm gonna keep the +2 weapon at this point. Seems to be the better option for my taste. So there's the temple. A necrophage, that's not too dangerous because we can just do our kiting here. So let's have a check. That's a vampiric dagger, that's a dagger of venom, so we're gonna run away here a bit and take this fight from another angle. So there goes a worker ant zombie. And we're sickened, which means we are not regenerating any HP anymore. So let's cure and heal wounds and slowly hack our way. Okay, so we got the guy with the venomous weapon gone, and yeah, this almost went terrible, but we only lost 1 potion of heal wounds and 1 potion of curing. That's okay. I think I went a bit too rash into this situation, but we survived. We did a mistake here, but we survived. Off to the temple we go, and there's no Okawaru altar, which is a bit sad, so we're gonna leave. I'm not gonna go on other god options here. I wanna have Okawaru, because I think it's a very good god for a ranged character. Even though I don't feel too ranged right now. Right now I feel like a particularly bad melee character with a good movement speed. That's all I feel right now, but it'll all come in time. So we got 1 spare ID scroll now, and we did notice a ring down there. I want to have it. So there's a Centaur, so let's step behind the corner, switch to the venomous dagger and take him down. There we go. Another gecko, don't need to shoot this, we can safely melee those. Tons of geckos. I think there could be some lizard vault or something like that. So we're at strength 18 now. I think we're fine here because strength 18 is enough to use plate armor, and I think that's exactly as heavy as I want to have in terms of armor. So that's a ring of stealth. It's not really useful for us, but we're gonna keep it on for now until we get some better option. And there we go. That's the point where all those gecko came from. There's an iguana. So a lot of lizards, but no particular reward for that. So there's a worm. Gonna pick it down. And we're working towards our Mindeleon bows. We're already at a very, very low speed for every shot we take. We're right now attacking slower with our dagger than we are attacking with our bow, but that's a very good point to achieve as a ranged combatant, because that's where being a centaur starts really to shine, because I can always just step back a bit, keep shooting, step back a bit, and these guys aren't actually able to get close to us. So everything that's melee and not especially fast right now is getting more and more harmless along the way. Yet still we're lacking some proper bow and proper equipment and a lot of stuff we still need to cope with. That's dungeon 5 done. Off to dungeon 6. So we didn't meet any uniques apart from Egypt yet, which is pretty interesting actually. So it's an ancient weapon scroll. I think I'm gonna enchant my short bow for now, because the other stuff I will swap out sooner or later. So might as well enchant the short bow. And being on 10.6 at the bow here is already very good. So there's Menkare. Luckily we found a wand of flame right there, so we're gonna keep hammering away with this wand of flame, because Menkare is very vulnerable to fire. There we go. Was like I got the tool right there when he entered the scene. So there's a potion of resistance, not too bad either. So let's get these orcs around the corner, and up close I want to still use the venomous dagger because I feel like it does a lot more damage than the short bow does. So there's a ring of poison resistance. That's very, very nice to find that early on, because poison resistance is one of the most important resistances in the early game, because we're gonna find the entrance to the lair sooner or later. But actually I'm hoping for some Okabaru altar at some point. It's getting more and more late with this altar. So there's a hound. We're gonna shoot it down. Another unidentified scroll, that's amnesia, but there's nothing we want to forget. And there's a magic mapping scroll. That's very good to find that early on. A glowing mace, but I'm not gonna opt into that because the mace won't be better than the gear we're carrying around right now. Although, nah, let's try it because it could be electrocution. It's Holy Wrath. Okay, Holy Wrath is also very useful. Might actually replace that hand axe of chopping, because usually if you can't poison it, in the most scenarios it's something that can be killed with Holy Wrath pretty good. So right now we got so many arrows that I can't even try to shoot down popcorn stuff. So there's a first hippogriff. Let's check how it goes. We got it poisoned pretty badly, so there's the bullfrog skeleton. Gonna put the mace of Holy Wrath to good use here. And there's a first shadow imp. Let's give him a few arrows and then switch over to the Holy Wrath mace. Okay, so that's dungeon 6 done, which leads us to the point where we got shafted back then. And we're gonna bring up those slaves upstairs. Poor guys. Poison them down. Taking a lot of damage here. Okay, there's a first orc warrior. So I'm gonna switch over to another staircase. We got down 3 of the slaves of Pikel. And okay, this is actually way worse than the other staircase. So we're gonna poison down this orc wizard and say no to the staircase either, and switch over to the next one. There's a bullfrog. I'm gonna lay it down, and there we go. There's only a priest in the vicinity. It's not too terrible. Okay, he retreated. Smart one. So, okay, so there's the Centaur shooting us, and worker and zombie overall. Pikel coming around the corner. Whoa, corrosion -12. That's jelly fighting. Okay, so that's a wand of lightning. That's a very nice item to find. These are really strong wands. So there's the old priest. Got it down pretty decently, and there's a glowing war axe. I really want to put this up. It's a +0 war axe of chopping, and that's the point where I'm gonna drop the hand axe of chopping for good. But in the long run, I don't want to rely on one-handed weaponry, because sooner or later the ranged weapons I find will be two-handed weaponry. So there's not much point in going for one-handed weapons here. So we got in a hit with a dire flail, we got in another hit with a dire flail, and there's a priest hanging at our character here. So we're gonna go upstairs and take this fight safely. So I decided to take this orc party upstairs because there's still Pickle hanging around, so I want to take this orc fighter upstairs to kill him. And there's a plate armor. That's really good. So that's only 1 point of armor class more, because we were wearing a +1 chainmail. So I'm not gonna wear this plate armor. Rather take that 2 points of evasion here. Seems like a better deal to me here. For now, that is. So let's check if we didn't notice some branded items. Okay, we didn't. Okay. So there's some interesting stuff. A flail of Holy Wrath, that will replace my mace of Holy Wrath. And a Randart ring. We're gonna replace that with a ring of stealth. And it's a ring of ice and resist poison. So interesting. It's pretty interesting. Not too good though. Interesting, not good. So that's a potion of Invis. Really like to have those. And another altar of Ashinzari here. It's the second one in this game. Still waiting for the Okawaru altar. A bit sad that this keeps waiting so long. I was hoping to get to Okawaru a lot earlier. So there's Crazy Youth. We're gonna kite him out and shoot him down. I don't want to get close to this quarterstaff of chaos of his. So he got a cloak. Gonna put it up because it's nice to have a cloak. Okay, so there's Joseph. Joseph is a very annoying guy, so he has a normal quarterstaff. Okay, so I'm gonna go into Berserk Rage here. Gonna put on our hand axe of chopping and kill this orc and then retreat. So even with the slowing of the Berserk exhaustion, we're still at a pretty normal speed. Other characters will get slowed to some degree. So there's an orc wizard. Shot him down pretty quickly. A scroll of silence. Bit sad that we wasted this. Wand of disintegration. Definitely don't want to keep this. So we got some ID scrolls left, so I'm gonna ID the Wand of Lightning, which has only 4 charges. Let's recharge it. Oh, I like those Wands of Lightning at this point, because they deal out a lot of damage even without any evocations trained. So we're again getting closer to Pickle, but I'm not too afraid of him. So there's a Centaur skeleton. Let's put up the mace of the flail of Holy Wrath and bring him down. Another 17 arrows for our pocket. So our quiver is filling slowly. And there's Pickle wielding a whip of flaming. That's not too dangerous actually. So we're dealing a lot of damage only with this short bow. I'm not too interested in keeping this whip of flaming because I got better items at my disposal by now. So, can we ID anything useful? No, we can't. Scrolls of Remove Curse keep stacking up. It's pretty okay. So, let's put up the Flail of Holy Wrath, put up the Dagger of Venom. and keep proceeding forward. So it's dungeon 8 now, which means we can potentially find the entrance to the lair of beasts here. So let's put up the Mace of Holy, the Flail of Holy Wrath against this imp, so we can safely one-shot him as soon as we hit him. Okay, there goes an orc pack with 2 priests actually. That's a bit too much for my taste. So let's... Okay, we can go here. And at this point we're stopping to switch over to the melee weapon somehow, because we attack a lot faster with a bow than with any other weapon we're carrying around right now. So I might be still lacking a good bow, but we're using it at a decent speed now at close range. Yet still we're having a lot of trouble hitting this moccasin. So there's a phantom. Let's shoot away at it. Book of Frost. I'm not too interested into that. Another orc pack. But by now we're doing a lot of damage in the ranged combat. Slowly our bow is getting useful. Yet still, the short bow is not a very good weapon. I'd really like to find some long bow pretty soon, but for now it's okay. I have a good skill level with the bow here, and if stuff keeps being like that, I'm gonna stop training bows when I hit bows 14, and then I'm gonna pick some weapon I wanna level out. I think it's gonna be axes, because I really found a decent handed war axe here. Yet still, it's not a weapon I wanna opt in hard into, because it's not a two-handed weapon, and actually I'm more interested into two-handed weaponry. So there's a two-headed ogre, so let's kite it out of the floor and keep shooting away. We can bring out a lot of shots before he gets closer. It's because we're close to Mindalay with our bow. There we go. Bows on 13 now. As a Centaur you learn the usage of bows at an insanely quick speed. We have a aptitude of +3. So this brigand, I'm going to bring up my Dagger of Venom again, because they have a tiny HP pool, so it's very useful to poison them. That's a Dagger of Speed, nothing I want to stick around with. So there's Psyche. Let's check her out. It's a Dagger of Chaos, and she has some spells which are a bit dangerous. So can I polymorph her? So she turned into an ice beast. That's pretty good, because as an ice beast she can't cast spells anymore. She lost her dagger. And finally we got to an Okavaru altar, so let's say hi to Okavaru, our new god. So looks like we're facing our first unseen horror. Hopefully I'm able to poison it soon. Yeah, that worked out. So that's why I really love to have a poison venom in the early game, because they keep being very, very useful. So this white is having a battle axe of freezing. There's the autumn katana, which is also a one-handed weapon. Okay, but it's a very, very good sword. Interesting here. Very good items lying around on this floor. So I think I should be able to Holy Wrath these guys. Nope, I'm absolutely not. So let's get upstairs. Be happy we survived this foolish blunder into these guys. And the beautiful items in this room have to wait until we got rid of this situation. And I'm not gonna enter this room again because there's not enough room to kite around, and I didn't have explored much of this floor, so it'll be dangerous to kite too much. And as we have seen, we got a lot of damage by these guys. Well, it's only meaning their weapons are really good. They're really as good as they look like, so it's okay. There goes another ice beast, taking a while to kill it. Another orc pack. So let's do some ranged work here. But let's take this ice beast upstairs. Okay. Going downstairs, going back upstairs, and retreating. I knew it would take a lot of damage, but I didn't care because right now I'm at this point where I can safely kite him to death. And there's not much he can do about it. So this glaive certainly hurt a lot. Did they leave no corpses? These orcs, no corpses for us. Oh, there's one. Okay, good. So we got that pack down. Let's check. We're not at Bose 14 yet, so there's this white pack again, so that's 2 enchanted halberds. No wonder this hurts so much. So again, I'm gonna swap into this Flail of Holy Wrath because I really feel like it helps a lot against whites. But where did this guy go with this battle axe I wanted to have? Where did you go? Where are you, my boy? Okay. So this definitely gonna be my weapon I wanna have for the letter B. Because this katana is a lot more stronger than the Venom's dagger will ever be. But where's my battle axe? I wanna have this battle axe of freezing. Ah, there's my boy. Okay, so I really want to try this out. It's a +4 battle axe of freezing. Alright, really sweet. But for now, I'm gonna stick to the katana, because the katana is a +8 weapon, which means it'll be very useful, even with no skill at all involved. And so far, our short bow is not satisfying me too much. So there's a Fustabalis that's only a +4 with no branding whatsoever, so I'm gonna drop this. We don't need this War Axe of chopping anymore, and I don't think we're gonna need this dagger of venom anymore. There are not too many enemies that are especially good to kill with venom. So there's a bunch of killer bees. We're gonna lignify into that and just slice them apart with our katana. So we have an armor class of 25 with this katana, which is really good. So there's an Eye of Draining. Slice it apart. So far I'm not too happy with the power of my ranged combat here, but that's pretty normal if you're starting out as a ranged fighter, because you really need a good branding on your weapon to make ranged combat worthwhile. So we found a first Phantom Mirror, which is really good. I really like those items. I got saved by these a few times, and they're really useful because you can put up an exact copy of one enemy with it, which is very nice against certain uniques when you can just put up the same unique against this guy, and always reduces the amount of pressure. Okay, so there we go. Pick up the katana and slice these guys apart. And we're not at Bose 14 still, so we can go downstairs and kill these guys. This Autumn Katana is a very, very nice weapon. I'm really happy that I found such a good unique item here. There's an obsidian statue. That's really spooky. We're not gonna go for that. Obsidian statues can summon demons as far as I remember. Let's have a check. Yeah, they have a summon demon and 2 strengths, so they can summon normal demons and even smaller demons. So that's very, very spooky. Don't want to mess around with that. Although, as soon as I got a good ranged weapon and a decent skill level to use it, this will be a fight I can take, because it's a summoner, which means his demons are not permanent, and it's a statue, and all statues have one trait in common: they won't regenerate. That means every damage you can bring up to them will stick to them, so you can safely kite it out somehow. So that's both done. We're gonna go for axes, because I feel like this battle axe will do a lot of good stuff for us. But I'm not gonna opt into the Autumn Katana for a longer run. That's not gonna happen, because I really feel like I want to have two-handed weapons, because I wanted to use the two-handed ranged weapons, because one-handed ranged weapons are all pretty weak in my opinion. Not strong enough to finish up the late game, I think. So there's a bunch of useful items, and there's Maurice. So Maurice can steal your stuff. I don't want to get my stuff stolen, and that's why I'm gonna turn him into a cloud beast and just slaughter him. And that's the point where polymorph always can be a very useful option. Stuff like Psyche or this little fella. So there's an amulet. We're not gonna put it on, because it could be an amulet of harm. There we go. But the good thing is, now I can safely try out amulets, because I always ID amulets because it could be an amulet of harm. Well, with that one taken out as the first amulet we ID'd, that's pretty useful. So we can just try him out and be happy about it. So we're not running around with any resistances apart from poison. That's a bit spooky, but somehow okay as well. So that's Sonya. Again, I hope I can polymorph her. Nope. We don't own any recharging potions, scrolls either. So we're gonna do some shooting at her. We got Kurarate by her, but the poison didn't stick. And were horribly wounded and got teleported onto the stairs. Okay. Luckily, that means we're gonna go for the lair. I really don't want to go for this. I almost died here, and that's the point where I say, nope, we're gonna return to this situation later. And we're at lair 1. That's my usual point where I'm gonna say, thanks for watching part 1 of our new character. He already died twice, almost. That's interesting. I'm not sure if I can keep up with not dying here, but it's an interesting run. We already got heroism unlocked, so for the ending of this video we're gonna put up some invocations, drop dodging for now, because it's at a horrible aptitude, so I can train it as well later when I have some invocations. Okay, so that's the end of part 1. Luckily we're still alive. Let's hope we keep alive. And thanks for watching, and see you guys at episode 2. Bye bye!